My name is Noor, and I'm a junior developer at Hero Technical Solutions. In this video, we will look into setting up a sync from CRM to analytics so we can use reports and analytics to create advanced segments in Zoho campaigns. In most basic cases, syncing from CRM directly is okay. However, note that you can only sync over fields from contacts, accounts, and deals. If you need to sync over fields from other modules, such as meetings, purchase orders, products, or even any other custom module, that would require syncing over that module to Zoho Analytics and then sync the records over to campaigns. You can either sync over the default report or create a customized view of multiple tables combined using queries. Then you would sync over that view. In this video, our case is that we would like to create a segment for all contacts that are of type customer and we haven't had a meeting with in the past 6 months. We could get the contact's name here, their email address, and their contact type from the contacts module here. But we would have no information on when the last meeting was, which can be found in the meetings module. As you can see here, there's a bunch of meetings, and here's their dates. And we would just grab the latest meeting, and we'll be using a query to do that. The query will take the contact's name, email, and type from the contacts module, and then the meeting's title and the latest meeting date from the meetings module here. And then we would calculate the days since the last meeting, and then we would have a field that contains yes if the last meeting has been before 180 days, and no if it hasn't. So we can create segments based on if the field has yes or no. The query can be found in a video description and a document. So I'll walk you through how to sync Zoho CRM to analytics, and how to sync analytics to campaigns and create segments in campaigns will be in the next video. So first off, we will navigate to Zoho Analytics to set up the sync. Since I already have a workspace that has the CRM sync set up, I will just walk you through the steps on how to set up that sync, but we already have an existing one. So you would go to import your data on the top right, and then search for CRM. Select Zoho CRM. And here's where you choose which reports to create in that workspace. You would select the workspace name and modules. A report will be created for each separate module and which fields you'd like from each module. And that would be the columns you would need in that report. So we want to make sure we have the fields needed from contacts and meetings. We need the contact's full name. We need their email address, and we need their contact type. Next, we would go to meetings, select meetings, and we would need the meeting title and the meeting's date. Got the title here. And then the meeting's date would be from and to. From is the start date, and to is the end date. As long as they're in the same date, it wouldn't matter. Then you would just click on Create. So I'll go back to the existing workspace I have. Here's the report that has the contacts. And if you want to go back to the page that has all those reports, just click on Explorer. Now I'll show you the meetings report. it has all these extra columns, but we would just need the title and the start end date. To create a query, you would just click on the plus sign on the top left, select Query Table, and you just write your query here. I'll be copying and pasting the query that I have in the description. And I'll put a name for it. And then you just click on Save. Select in which folder you would like to save the query in, and if you'd like a description or add any tags to it. And then in order to see the table, you just click on View Mode over here. So here's our report. Has the full contact name, email, type, the meeting title, the last meeting date, how many days since that meeting, and whether it's been 6 months or not. There's only 3 meetings that occurred before 6 months, but only 2 would be in our segment, since this last one is a prospect, not a customer. The condition for the segment would be that if been 6 months is yes, and contact type is customer. So only these 2 would be in the segment. In order to create the sync from analytics to campaigns, we would have to navigate to Zoho campaigns. Then to create the sync, you would just click on Contacts, Sync Services, scroll down to wherever you'll find Zoho Analytics, click on New Sync, and fill out these fields. The database name is just the name of the workspace in Analytics. The table name would be the report name or the query name. In our case, it would be contacts with last date, the query that we just created. Date field mapping is that we need a date field in order to update the records in campaigns. Please note that a date column is mandatory in order to be able to update the contact records in campaigns. We will be selecting the last meeting date that we've done in the query. You can optionally sync to a list in campaign. Choose a subscription type. Update empty field value is when you have a bunch of fields that are already filled in campaigns, and then in the next sync, those fields are empty for those records. And this is basically asking, if the field already has a value, but the next sync it's empty, would you like it to update it to be empty or not? In our case, we wouldn't want that. So we would just leave it how it is, and this is the sync time when you would like it to be synced. Since we all have this set up, we can go next to mapping the fields. There are some default fields in campaigns, but when none of the default fields fit what you need, you would have to select New Field and fill out the name for that field. So I'll be syncing over the name, the email, the contact type, and whether it's been 6 months or not, since that's all we need in order to create this segment. As seen, the contact name was a default field, so we didn't need to create a new field for that. Email is also default. And now contact type. And last but not least, been 6 months. Then, once you're done mapping all the fields, you can just click on Initiate in the bottom right of the screen. The last thing I would like to cover is what's in the query and what the query is doing, because I did not cover that yet. So we go to Edit Design. We could see the query here. These are the columns that we're taking. Here we're setting the name for them. This max function takes the latest date. And this line is calculating the days since the last meeting. And this line over here is deciding whether it's been 6 months or not. This is saying which report we're pulling this from. And then this is how we're joining the contacts report to the meetings report. So we're taking columns from 2 different reports. And then here we're just grouping all the columns so we can get 1 row per date, which is the last date. Other things to note about syncing from analytics to campaigns is that each row must contain an email address. If there are multiple records found with the same email address, campaigns will take the first occurrence found and ignore the rest. And then you also have to make sure that any renamed or deleted columns here in analytics are also updated in the mapping in campaigns. And other views, such as pivot, summary, and tabular, aren't supported to sync over to campaigns. That is all for this video. In the next video, I'll be creating the segment, and I'll also be showing how to create a campaign. Thank you so much for watching.